Hi, everybody. It's Mimi from Be Heard. Empower yourself with another amazing, interesting guest from out there in that big world. Today we have Ronnie Ann Ryan, and she is a author and a life coach. Would you like to say hi?
Hi.
Just a little hi for now so they know you're there. Okay. Now, I had a whole list of questions. But I'm going to start off a little differently because in researching you, I found out that you do Akashic readings.
Yes.
I happen to be in the middle of doing Akashic readings with someone, with the life coach.
Wow.
What a coincidence.
I'll say.
So we're going to work that in because when I saw that, I went, oh, okay. So now back to my original script. We'll get
Okay.
to the other thing. Um, I have a quote here from you from, I believe it might be from your book. We begin with breath, with magic, and with the courage to listen to the soul's whisper beneath the noise. Was that your quote? No. Was that your quote? Okay. Then somebody
No, but
said
it's
that.
nice.
It's nice that somebody said that about your book. Is
Okay,
that,
so I'm confused because I haven't written a spiritual book. I've written six dating books.
well, somebody said this about you and use that quote. So
Oh, wow.
afterwards, you're gonna have to go look and see where that came from.
Okay. Well,
Um,
I'll figure it
so
out.
anyway, before you got into being where you are today, we all have challenges and things we have to overcome, childhood, early adulthood, etc. And it could, with me, it was a lot about men and my parents not being good parents and addiction and all that good stuff. So, what do you think, Ronnie Ann, was your biggest challenge in your early life? Something that you had to overcome before you could be what you wanted to be.
I'm a lucky person, and I think I came here. One of my purposes is to speak my truth.
Mhm.
Another is to share my light and wisdom because I feel like I've collected a lot of wisdom.
Yeah,
And most of my wisdom comes from just getting out there and trying things,
yeah.
meeting people, doing things, interacting. If this doesn't work, I go this way, I'll go that way, I go whatever. So, but I, I was sort of shy when I was younger, but I can't tell you any big thing I had to get over. I was so lucky because my parents were, for the most part, supportive of whatever I wanted to do. It didn't mean
Mhm.
I got to do whatever I wanted,
No, no.
you know. But, as I got older and I went to college and I wanted to be in the theater and I wanted to design and create the sets for
Mhm.
theater. And after I had an internship in a theater, I thought, no, I'm not, I don't belong there. I wasn't free
Maybe how
spirited and
so?
bohemian enough.
Yeah,
So,
okay. Hmm.
so a lot of what I've been through, I'll call it zigzagging. Okay, I tried that. I tried that. I tried that. I tried that. So sometimes people say to me, "You don't stick to anything," and I'm like, "Really? That's what you have to say to me?" I'll never forget when I had started the dating coaching. So I started in marketing. I got an MBA. I started in advertising. I went and got an MBA. I went and worked in a big consumer package firm, company, and worked on marketing for coffee and bird's eye vegetables. And then I went out and freelanced from there. So my lessons have been in action.
Good.
So because most of my career I worked for myself. So it's a little bit different because I didn't have trauma to get over. I sort of created my trauma as I went along.
There you go. All right. But good enough. We'll go past that. So you sound like a very wise woman. And you know, People think, a lot of people at my age now, where I am, and maybe since, well, actually for a long time, always thought of me as the answer person. Mimi will know what to do.
Ooh,
Mimi, what should I do? Mimi, Mimi, Mimi. And Mimi's in her own traumatic life. I had three husbands,
okay, good for you.
but the third one's here 37 years.
Oh,
So that means it was the other two, not me. Something wrong with that.
oh, I don't look at it like that, you know? I look
Well,
at it that you learned stuff with the first one and you were done. And then you learned stuff with the second one, you were done, and then you graduated to something with 37 years.
I
That's how
agree.
I look. Yeah,
I
that's how I
agree.
look at it.
I agree. And I know now too that all the experiences, good and bad, but mostly the bad, um, we're learning activities, which
Yes,
I can now use to help other women that may
that's
be
right.
in abusive marriages or anything. So I always wanted to be a teacher, and my parents stopped me from that. And my first and second husband blocked me from that. And I am a teacher now because I teach people things. Not that I thought. I thought I'd be teaching English. An
Yeah.
English teacher.
Yeah.
But now
Anyone
I'm
can teach English, but you're teaching life experience, right?
exactly, exactly. So, conversations on the inner plane. Talk about that. How about that?
Okay. So, what I'm really talking about there is using your intuition and how you can talk to anyone or anything, alive, dead, fictional, historical, innate, or inert. I mean, inert, like um, you could talk to the elements. You could talk to the fire or the wind or the plants, or
Talk to my
you can,
plants. Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
good. So you can talk to anything. That's what the inner conversation is about, that you can communicate with almost everything on earth. And some things might be harder than others. I can't tell you I've talked to rocks, although I love my crystals. But I know people who have talked to rocks. So, you know, if you believe everything has a consciousness, then everything probably could communicate. And there you go, inner conversation.
That's true. And I have recently learned about my spirit guides doing my work with a soul guide. She doesn't really like to pin a title on herself, so I'll call her like like a spirit coach, whatever. Um, and I have a husband that has Parkinson's, stage 4. Now, the thing about stage 4 Parkinson's is they talk less and less. They communicate less and less. They sundown. They are not the person you married. Okay. So I developed I'm talking to him, but he doesn't answer me. So it's like I talk to myself. So I don't think that's crazy at all. And and he doesn't get mad because he knows where he's at. So I talk to my plants and I talk all day, whether they talk back or not. So with the spirit guides, I've started to talk to two of them. Okay. And these two spirit guides, I just found out about like this year. I didn't know. We'll get into that later. So I believe in communication, even if you're not getting anything back from the other thing or person. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
You,
yes,
you making the sound, you saying the words out loud. I believe in saying things out loud. That's
yes,
another
yes.
thing.
Well, I mean, depending on what you're doing, if you're working on manifesting something, then speaking out loud has great value. There's more power in the spoken word for many reasons. One reason is you're using your vocal cords, which creates a vibration in your body. And since you're mostly water, it moves quickly through your entire body and it can
Hmm.
help align all of your energy centers and your cells and everything else because that's what happens with vibration. So there's definitely benefits.
Oh, I need
But
that.
I have used this skill in many ways, and I'm going to give you a couple of business examples if that's
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
All right, so I heard about this job from another coach friend, and she told me it was really an amazing opportunity, and they were going to pay more than $100,000 a year, and it was really to teach classes and interact with them. They called it coaching, but I wouldn't call that coaching. But it
Mhm.
doesn't matter what it was called. It was a lot of money, and
Yeah.
it wasn't a lot of hours. And I thought, wow, I want to do that. So I had an interview. I had to have 3 interviews, and I got in. So that was good. I wasn't crazy about the owner, but how much do I have to spend time with him? Whatever, you know. We're talking a lot of money.
Just get your paycheck.
Get my paycheck, exactly. So I was excited about it. So then, right before we were supposed to start our classes, he sends out an email that says we have we need to get 1,000 members. He didn't bother to say how many members they already had, which would have made a difference, but it's okay. So I was like, and he says we have to get to 1,000 members in order for the paychecks to flow.
Oh my.
So, yeah. So the first thing I thought, I'm going to add up all the people he hired, 50 coaches at the price, whatever, it was $3.5 million. I'm like, this man doesn't have $3.5 million. He hired all these people and he doesn't have it. He thinks all these people are going to spread the word and increase his
Oh,
base. I'm
scam.
making this up because I don't have any proof. This is what
You're not
that's
making
the
it up.
gist. You know what I'm saying? It's my
It sounds
intuition,
like.
it's my business savvy. So I got very uncomfortable and I'm like, I don't know what he's doing. And why isn't he just saying, I found out later, I think he had over 800 people already. So it wasn't, he didn't need 1,000. He only needed 200, whatever. So I went and looked at his picture on the website. And this is how I started originally doing my intuitive work, by looking at photographs of people as long as you can see their eyes. Native Americans say that the photograph captures a piece of
Cool.
your soul. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to see the eyes. Okay. So I went and I looked at his picture and I talked to him, just like you say you talk, and I'm like, hey, I'm feeling uncomfortable and you're not being transparent and I don't understand what's happening. And I'm wondering if you even have the money. And what is this about? Not that I thought he was going to answer me, but I did hear something. And what I heard was, not my problem. Now, in a million trillion years, if I was going to make up something in my head that he would say, it would never have been not my problem. I might have said, don't bother me, or it's all good, or there's a million things I could have come up with, but not my problem. So I said to him, you don't care that you're not being transparent and I don't trust you and I'm uncomfortable. And I heard it again, not my problem. And I thought, I'm quitting. So I did quit.
Ronnie,
Now, this
Ronnie,
is blind faith.
I gotta ask this.
Yeah.
Was it Donald Trump?
No. No. No, it was coaching, not
But
swindling.
no, 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 but it sounds like one of his business scams, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. No.
No, so
So
you never took the job. You didn't take it.
I didn't take it and then I didn't check to see what happened until 18 months later.
Mhm.
And 18 months later, I looked up the company on Google and there was in the research, it came up something on indeed.com, which is like a business referral website and stuff, job hunting. And there were people who had given reviews and two reviews. And one of them said, nice idea, never got paid. And the other one said, heart is in the right place, financial problems.
Yeah.
And so I was like, whew, like I
Oh,
knew it, but I had no proof. And then I was nervous and I didn't want to check and I didn't want to ask and I didn't want to feel bad. I don't know why. I just didn't, I believe in myself, but I believed in myself enough to listen to
uh-huh.
that, my own intuition, that conversation in my head.
You
And
trusted your
so,
gut. You trusted your gut.
yeah.
And
And so,
yeah,
I, I, escaped before I
oh,
worked for free. Because if I was going to work for free, I can do that myself, right?
exactly. Now, I don't know if you've had a chance to listen to any of my shows yet, but if you have, I talk about a variety of topics. Okay. Some can be about skincare. you know, some can be about toxic men, some are fifth dimension. You never know. So I'm saying that because a listener now may never heard one of my shows about Akashic records or even know what they are. So I
Okay.
would like your explanation of Akashic records for them, if you would do
Okay.
that.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
So, my understanding of the Akashic Records sort of comes from Edgar Casey. So, that's the original place I heard that from, but before all the hullabaloo
yeah,
of our last 20 years.
yeah.
And so, it's like a library or a hall of records that has a record of all of your thoughts and actions in your life, in all of your lives.
Mhm.
And some say your future, but that's changeable
Yeah.
because it's a changeable thing. So if you wanted to know why about something, or if you needed to know, if you needed to get help about something, or if you wanted a deeper understanding about events in your life, supposedly you go into the records to get the information, right? So
You
some
go
people
like in a spiritual way through your
intuitively.
mind intuitively, right?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Yeah, you don't walk in and
That's
actually physically talk to a librarian.
right, right.
Now, some people don't really think of it as a library at all. They just think of it as a cosmic database.
Yeah,
So how you want to imagine it or envision it, it is up to you. Whatever you're comfortable with or whatever seems fun for you or easy
yeah,
to
yeah.
imagine. And sometimes I go through the trouble of imagining walking up to a library and going inside and meeting my guide who takes me to my book. There are some people who tell you they'll teach you exactly how to read the pages in your book. I have not done that. I have seen the book, but what does that really mean? Because your imagination,
German.
creates things or whatever. And that doesn't mean it's not true because your imagination is completely tied into your intuition, which doesn't mean you're making it up, but you need one to get the other. So I
And
have, go ahead.
well, I was going to say, and a big part of this for us to even want to do this kind of thing is you kind of have, well, I believe you have to believe that you had other lives. Do you
Well,
know, right? I mean, I could,
it has present life too. So if you weren't a believer in reincarnation,
right.
there could still be information for you in the records about your current life.
Ah, okay. But it's most helpful for people like you and I who believe that. I mean, I do believe, like the Buddhists, that you keep coming back. Well, my saying is you keep coming back to get it right, but that's not necessarily the reason why you keep coming back. There's a lot of reasons, and one of those reasons is to help other people too, But I had my first session and it was great. She had not read any of my books, so she knew nothing about me at all and would not read, promised not to read any of my books or anything till we were completely done, which was great. And I believe her. And the intuition, I could believe her.
Hmm.
So our first session, and she said, you have like seven spiritual guides, and two of them do not need to be there. Their job is done. They just don't want to go. So she said, "Is it okay if I tell them to leave?" And I said, "Yeah." So she went, "Okay." She did a clearing and said, Mimi's loved having you, but you can leave now. So then it was down to five. And she said, very oddly for her, in her readings, she said, spirit guides usually don't tell me their names. And one of your spirit guides wants you to know her name, and it's Janira. And we both thought that was interesting. Okay. So I started this with her, and it has been amazing. Um, and for skeptics, I will say, if you're going to watch any of those episodes, watch it on YouTube because there are things that happen visually that you can't get from the podcast. Okay.
Cool.
So that's, we have that in common. We're both into Akashic Records.
Yeah.
And that, and I'm there, I'm a student. I mean, I just started doing this a few months ago, right? So going on with that, and you use that in your coaching, the Akashic Records, do you use that?
You know, I have a big bucket of tools.
I'm sure you do.
And so I use whatever is necessary to help my client move forward. And
Yeah.
so it doesn't always require going into the Akashic Records. But
How about the energy clearing, though? The energy clearing, you can do that without going into the Akashic
oh
Records.
yeah, you don't have to go in the records at all to do that. Yeah.
Good.
Energy clearing, it's I call it bioenergetic clearing. And yeah,
Bio.
that's really bioenergetic. That's really an amazing process because it's just so magical. You do it with a pendulum, and we have 29 charts of different things. Actually, there's 28 charts. The first chart is a chart of all the other charts to tell you what page to start on. So you use the pendulum to figure out and what it is, and the there's circles about like this big on an 8.5 by 11 page, and they some of them have like these really skinny little pie slices, because there's so many things on
Mhm.
the page. And so it might be uh positive thoughts and beliefs, or negative thoughts and beliefs, or positive masculine or feminine energy, or negative masculine or feminine energy, or it could be, a star seed life, or there's just
I can't believe
so
you just said
much.
that. I cannot believe, Ronnie, my last book, my fourth book,
Yeah.
Anatomy of an Alien,
Ah,
is about the fact that I have a very strange medical history, and this is a paranormal medical mystery, and it is about whether I am a star seed person or
ah.
not. This is
Well,
crazy that we
that
have.
is crazy. A lot of people are star seeds,
Yes.
and that you don't have to, just because you're on Earth doesn't mean you've always come to Earth
No.
for your lives. Yeah.
No. But you said that, I cracked up because I'm thinking, oh my God. And I had not known about star seeds again until a year or so ago. And someone told me they thought I was a star seed person because of all the kindness and different things that I do and everything. And when I researched it, I also found that there were certain medical things and certain attributes that Farsi people have. And one of them is that there's different types, and
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
Polaris and all that stuff you had to learn. But it said certain starseeds are allergic to alcohol. Well, I'm in recovery from alcoholism. And then it started talking about certain medical problems. I have had those. So I thought, I can put all this together.
Yeah.
And I did. So it's all, if you didn't know what star seeds were, you will. You'll learn about all these odd medical things I have had happen to me. I had 22 surgeries in the last 20 years, all of them with odd situations. I have pictures of every one of them. And at the very end of the book, you find out if I'm a starseed.
The suspense.
What
Oh,
a concept, right? So that just came out, and yeah, it's
that's
we're
exciting.
time. Yeah, I'm excited, and I did have a young man because again, at my age, um, I want to know what someone maybe in their 30s thought, and I gave him the book. He was the first. I said, "You're the first person to read this book." He loved it.
Oh,
He
great.
loved it. He
That's
said,
fabulous.
now I have to read your first book, you know. So, and and my first book, I will interject this.
Yes, please
Um,
tell me all of them. Why not? We're
no,
here.
because it's kind of interesting in a way about writing and multi-generational things. My 16-year-old grandson had a friend who bought my first book, read it, and follows me on Instagram.
Huh, that's fun.
So
So
I'm reaching out,
what
right?
was the first book?
The first book was called Raised by Wolves, Trapped by Demons. And the
Raised by
wolves,
Wolves, Shot by
you know,
Demons? Oh,
trapped
Trapped
by
by
demons.
Demons.
The wolves were my parents because they were not good parents. They weren't like your parents. I had no coping skills. They didn't let me go to college, blah, blah, blah. And then the demons became, when I did go out into the adult world, not having any coping skills, men, and that led to alcoholism. And then when I did get sober, the spiritual path began. So it is a journey book. It is a
Yes,
journey.
yes.
Yeah. And I don't want this show to be about me. I want it to be
Okay.
about you. But now we clarified that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Guys, go on Amazon. It's all there.
Very good. Okay.
Everything. So getting back to you, Ronnie. Um, so what, like a lot of women, I think more than men, um, try or want to clear up things, patterns they're feeling, or just especially when they get to a certain age. Do you find that, or do you get men, a lot of men clients too?
No, I work with mostly women.
Yeah.
And here I'll tell you, this is an interesting statistic. Maybe you know it already, but uh, women buy 75% of the self-help books.
Oh, I believe that. Even
Yeah,
without, you know, I didn't.
because
Yeah.
we like to fix things where
For
men
fixers. Yeah,
will prefer to just trudge on.
exactly.
Don't bother me. Just let me do my thing.
I'll figure it out. I'll figure
And
it
I'll figure it out. Yes, absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
don't I don't need the GPS. I know.
Yes, all of that. Uh-huh. But yeah, exactly. But women like to fix things, which can be a curse, really, because there are some things you cannot fix everything. You know, there is something, there are some people say everything's fixable. It's all fixable. No, not really.
Not really, no. But I just always felt that intuitively,
Yeah.
psychology, no matter what it was, medical doctors, no matter what, that a woman is more likely to go for help if something's wrong medically, physically, mentally than a man. And I found that true from my own experience in my life. I've seen it with my own husbands. I've seen that. I tried to do marriage counseling with the first two. No,
No dice.
didn't go well. I think the first husband actually showed up at place and then left. And the second husband went to three sessions but did not say one word. So
Wow.
unbelievable. And that counselor told me, I think I should see you separately. And then after two visits, he told me he doesn't say anything when he's alone with me either. And I know this is Catholic social services. I was Catholic at the time. He said, I might get fired for telling you this, but I think you should divorce him and go to college because I didn't have, I had two little children by him. And he said, because he's going to ruin your life, you know, divorce him, go to college. And he was right. And I took his advice. And I just
That was
always
quite
think,
a thing because that really goes against any kind of rules about psychotherapy. Never tell people what to do. And even coaching, never tell people what to do.
Catholic services that does
That's
not
funny.
believe in divorce.
Well, he was giving you his advice and an opinion that you felt was valid for you, and it worked. So
And
there you go.
I think he was like stepping outside of his counselor
Sure.
persona and talking to me as a friend.
Yeah.
Because he just like just the way it was done. And it was such a horrible situation. So sometimes, even when somebody wants help, resistance come into the flow. Am I right? What does
Sure.
that feel like? That kind of thing.
Well, resistance can be feeling stuck. It could be repetitive situations and patterns that you keep coming up against, and you're like, why does this keep happening to me? um, or an unwillingness to consider. So I'll give you a perfect example out of my life. So I was single until I was 40,
Good for
and I had
you.
boyfriends in high school and college, but then I had a big dry spell. And then
Hmm.
I got to 40 and I was like, oh my God, what did I do? I forgot to get a husband. Oh my God. So I was very upset because I always thought I'd get married. So well, I wanted to figure it out. I wanted to fix it. So I had to spend a lot of time, I realized, looking at myself. Prior to that time, I'd been resistant to considering the problem was me. I thought the problem was men. I
Hmm.
never met any interesting men. I hardly ever met any single men. Were there any single men? Blah, 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 blah. Of
Yeah.
course,
All
there
the
were
good
single
ones are
men.
married.
All the good ones are married, unless they're gay, blah, blah, blah. So I just lived like that for way too long. And my high school boyfriend wanted me to marry him. And I said no, because I didn't want to be engaged in college and I needed to explore and try things. And my college boyfriend wanted me to marry him. And he wanted to leave school and go in the Air Force and I should come with him. And I'm like,
Mm,
no.
mm.
And then I didn't realize that saying no twice meant I'd have, the next 18 years going.
Dry spell.
Uh, but I really held a torch for the second one, and it kept me single because I was really
You
not
didn't let
open.
go. You did not let
I
go.
did not let go, and I was not really open to being heard again.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so I had to look at myself, look within, and learn to understand myself, learn about what works in dating versus what I was doing, because a lot of people, this is why I was a dating coach for 20 years. A lot of people think you can just you can date like you can do anything else, and it doesn't really work.
No.
You have to kind of know. People say, I don't want to play the game. I'm like, you can't win if you don't play the game. And it's not dishonest and it's not nonsense. It's just the way it is.
Hmm.
And not everybody has to play the game. Sometimes people just meet and that's it. And it's
Yeah.
kismet and it's wonderful. But a lot of times you just have to go through the process. It's a
Yeah.
process.
You have to enter the room. And what I mean by that is this. In my age group, in the 70s and 80s, we met people in the bars, the disco,
Sure.
the cocktail lounges. That's
Sure.
where we met people. Some of them were not good, some of them were okay, some of them were
Right.
nice. I lived in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and there were four sections of Scranton, Pennsylvania. I was from the south side. So if you were from a certain section of Scranton, you knew everybody in that section. So if
Okay.
you were in the south side, you knew everybody in the south side. All three of my husbands, including one I have today, came from south side of Scranton.
Wow.
Now that's another theory that's called propinquity, which means you're most likely to meet someone to marry if you're around them in a job or whatever. It's just
Proximity.
statistics. Yeah. So where am I going with this? Now times change. All of a sudden it's dating apps. You know, people, young people aren't doing it. I mean, they're still going to bars and things, but um, one of my daughters met her husband, her second husband, on a dating app. I'm very happy. She was a widow. Okay. She did it very conservatively. She is a psychologist. Met him in the public place, had coffee, went through
Of
all that
course.
stuff. They're together. They got married. That's wonderful. The other daughter met her husband at a acting, and around Halloween they do this thing for a month, and they put on a scary horror show, and they were both in it.
Fun.
So they had something in
Yes.
common.
Yes.
They
Yes.
were ongoing, but none of them met them in their living rooms watching TV. You see
No,
what I'm
very
saying?
good point. Yes. You have to go out.
You have to join the game. have to get involved, whether it's whatever type of outreach you want to make. And it could even be just going to a coffee shop and having coffee, but you have to go out into the world.
Right.
That's how I feel. So in
Right.
your
And I
case,
I always talk about that. You have to be able to go out so you can cross paths with somebody.
that's what I'm talking about. You have to
That's
cross paths. You have to cross paths.
absolutely.
And so did you finally find your person?
I did. I dated 30 men in 15 months.
But
And
now, how did you do that? Where did you find these men?
all right, now you're going to laugh,
No,
but
if I laugh, it's only because I'm enjoying this.
it was before the internet was common. You know, the before AOL, you got mail and all that's, and Match.com. It was right on the cusp before that really took off. And people were doing personal ads that you could find them in like New Yorker magazine or in the newspaper or whatever. And so had up to 22 words to describe yourself, and then you could leave a voicemail. And what I realized easily and quickly was you got to run your own ad. Don't answer men's ads. If you're a woman, you got to run your own ad. So I'd
Yes.
run my own ad and I'd get like a crop, I'd call it.
Yeah.
And I'd have to weed through and then go and meet some. And when women complain to me about online dating, I'm like, honey, 22 words in a voicemail, no pictures. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
how I met men. And it was fine. Were they all perfect for me? Oh, no, no. But I met a lot of different men. I got used to men. I learned how to, maneuver and get my way around. And I improved my skills of figuring out if they might be for me or might not. Discernment, figuring that out, not just like, oh my God, there's a man in my clutches and I'm sticking with him. No, I didn't do that. And so, and then I met my husband. So he was slow to start. So I'm not going to tell you I knew he was the one right away, blah, blah. It wasn't like that at all.
Mhm.
But he took time. He was not in a hurry. And,
Mhm.
I had to learn how to use my feminine energy because I have a lot of let's make it happen, get it done, boom, boom, boom. You too?
Me too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so that, isn't really the best energy to come to dating with. And so I had to learn how to be the girl.
I get it.
And
Mhm.
my husband is very, I would say he's very traditional, although he doesn't mind me being non traditional.
Gotcha.
And
Hmm.
so he, so what happened was I was dating somebody else I had also just met, and nobody was exclusive yet, and
Hmm.
I was just seeing what was going to happen, who's going to stick. That's what I was looking
Yeah, yeah,
for.
yeah.
Who's going to keep asking me out? So my husband would call me once a week and then see me once a week, and for 6 weeks it was once a
So,
week,
oh, but he was consistent.
but he was consistent. And I thought, I'm going to lose my mind with this guy. Like, are you in? Are you out? What do you? And I want, my real person would want to say, buddy, are you in or you're out? Pick up the pace or you're out of here, and how would that have gone over? Not good.
Right. Scare him
So
away.
I had a lot of spiritual help in dating because what came to me to say was, I have such a good time with you. We have fun, it's peaceful, it's easy, and I enjoy seeing you once a week. I think it'd be fun to see you twice a week.
Aha, very
And
good.
so I made a suggestion. I didn't even make a request.
No,
There was no question.
no.
I
It's a,
gave him a compliment. You're fun. It's easy. It's calm. Blah, blah. And then I said, I think it would be fun to do twice a week. So I gave him a suggestion about how to make me happy. And that's all I said. And then he was quiet for a little while and he said, okay.
there you go. I mean, there you go. And it's like, again, we'll go back to the fact that when you want something, you just don't sit there and expect it to come to you. Some people do, you know,
Yeah.
but you have to be in the game, and you're in the game. I was in the game. I made a lot of mistakes. I got hurt a
Oh,
lot. I
there's no
really
other
did.
way. You can't learn if you're not willing
There's
to make
no
mistakes.
guarantees, no guarantees.
No,
And even, back in the day, yes, you would meet men in bars, and some of them would be
you can
nice.
still meet men in
And
bars.
you could still meet men in bars. What was good for me was like I knew everybody because I told you the situation of
Yeah,
Scranton, Pennsylvania. It was a quadrant.
yeah,
And even in high school, if you were dating somebody from West Side, people looked at you strange. I mean, because you're from South Side, it was really strange.
that's
But
funny.
things changed. So my husband actually, I went to high school with him, but our first date was our 20th high school reunion, only because we were
Ah,
both there
that
alone.
happens. Yeah,
Yeah, we were both there alone. And it was just an interesting situation. And that's for another time. But things happen, but you have to make that first move. You got to move. You can't be static, you know.
you can't be static. That's
Yeah.
right. But what
So
I did, I
go.
created the opportunity for him to step up,
Yes, you did, and he did step up.
and he did.
That's great. So now you have a lot of inner wisdom, and you have a lot of intuition and good sense. I can hear it all. I can feel it. So is there a daily practice that keeps you like aligned with that inner wisdom that you possess? Or something you do daily?
Okay, I'll share it with you.
Oh, I'm so honored.
So the first thing, so it comes with hand movements, but you don't have to do the hand movements. I just like them.
Okay.
All right. So the first thing I say is I surrender to my higher self and open to the divine flow of creativity, abundance, and joy.
Oh, I like it. You're opening yourself up
Yes, and
to the
I
day.
surrender to my higher self because I want to do what's for my highest good, not
Good.
my ego. The next thing I do the same hand motion and I say, please align my will with divine will. You're going to laugh. So I can walk the path of ease and grace and go with
Yes.
flow.
Yes. Yes. Good.
The hand motions come from a class I took called The Power of Gesture.
Huh?
And you release emotions in your body by moving your body parts
Oh, yes. That's
and
great.
energy. So I'm putting energy in. I want the I want the flow, baby.
Okay. Well, listen, I have never, like in my life, if I was angry, I wasn't sitting still in a chair. I Not just because I'm mostly Italian, well, I can't say I'm mostly Italian anymore. That's another story, a
You
DNA
can't?
story. No, because I did my DNA. But
Oh, okay. I
that's
got you.
my second book
But
is
you
um
were brought
right.
up Italian, and Italian women love to
Yes,
clean when they get
yes,
angry. That's what
yes,
I've seen.
yes,
That's
yes.
funny. I have so
So
many Italian girlfriends. That's really funny.
my second book was because of the DNA. I found out he was adopted, my father, and lied to and told he was Italian. Unearthing my Irish roots. I did my DNA and it came back your father is 100% Irish.
My husband's 96%. I didn't know anybody could be 100. Wow.
And the best part were both biological parents were from County Mayo, Ireland, and both of the families migrated to Scranton, Pennsylvania. So I had to write a book. I had to. And I had to do the research. And I went back to 18th century Mayo County and
Wow.
found out some stuff, girl, and it was good. And that book became historical semi-fiction because all the names are true. The birth dates are accurate. The marriage records are accurate. Everything is accurate. But I do not know what that relative did for a living in 1772 in Ireland. So I had to make up a story
Right,
of
right.
what they did and how they met. And it was fun. It was fun.
Fun.
So
Yeah.
you can see how I am. I have to know.
Yes.
But
Yes.
you can't just tell me something like that and I go, oh, okay. I want to know what happened.
That's fun.
Right. We're doing good. We're almost at the end of our time though. And I don't want to end, but I'm going to have to end with some questions unanswered, which
Oh
means
no.
no, it just means we have to do another podcast,
Okay.
part two. That's all. So I guess I'm going to say to end this. if you could offer like one intuitive truth to every woman that's listening, what would it be?
An intuitive truth?
Yeah, an intuitive truth.
Hmm. You know, I would say to trust your gut.
Mhm.
And people say, listen to your heart. I think the heart can lead you astray
I agree.
because people also go, the heart wants what the heart wants. And it's like an excuse to do whatever you want to do, which, you can do whatever you want to do. But that's not listening to the
True.
heart. I don't know about that. But listen, see, this is how I look at it scientifically. Your
Hmm.
gut has between 100 and 500 million neurons, more than your spine.
Right.
Guess how many the heart has? 40,000. Okay. So you decide. Listen to your heart, 40,000 neurons. Listen to your gut, up to 500 million.
And your brain is a bullshit artist. So
You're so funny.
I,
So,
I don't mean to, it's the truth.
yeah,
But
yeah,
what
I
you're
hear you.
saying is true because where I feel things, when something is going on that's not pleasant, I don't feel it in my brain or my heart. I feel it in my stomach. I start
Right,
getting
right, right.
queasy, or my stomach hurts, or I feel
Yep,
nauseous.
yep,
Great. That's not perfect. We're on the same
yep.
page. And
All right.
we're gonna do something. We have to. We have to do a part two, right?
Okay, fun.
Okay.
Can I just add one
Oh,
thing?
yes, please.
I want to offer people my free class on how to ask the universe for a sign,
Okay.
and you can get an answer in 24 hours or less
Ooh, and
with the process.
how do they get the free class?
They just go to intuitiveedge.biz, which is biz
Yeah,
slash sign.
SIGN, son.
You got it. Yep.
Oh, I'm gonna do that today.
Yeah, good. It's really fun. It's only a half an hour, but I
Okay.
map it all out for you exactly. And I give you three examples of big decisions I made doing this. And I still use this today because sometimes you get sick and tired of trying to figure it out.
I
Right. And
know.
so you just want to have the universe just tell me already. I can't take it anymore.
I
So you
just need
ask
to
for a
throw the
sign.
dice, you know.
Yeah.
Love it.
And so you'll get an answer in 24 hours.
We would be best friends if we lived in the same area
Oh, what
because
a nice thought.
we really do have a lot in common and our personalities are very parallel, I think. So
Fun.
everyone, I don't know about you guys, but I had to have fun listening to this because I certainly did. And also learning maybe some new ways to look at the world or find a man if you want to. All right, thanks, Ronnie. And I
Thank
will talk
you.
to you again. I will talk to you again. Goodbye,
Wonderful.
everybody. Go out there. Be open.